stretch, which is where you engage gently and literally pick up tissue and do that. It's just going to go like that. So please remember, no product on to start with. It doesn't happen too often, because I've mentioned a number of times, it's good to warm up tissue first. So in this case, we're not going to. So if that's the case, then I'd still be making contact with the person on the table and doing some rocking. But we'll be doing it through the sacrum after lunch as well. We'll do a fascial stretch off through here. So again, you'd have a towel on and you could do some gentle rocking and just sort of make that contact, because the contact with the person is still super, super important. Okay. So first things first, even before we get into techniques, I'll show you how to use all this equipment. Before your hands get all greasy, make sure you open the bags up, because they're near impossible to open up when you've got cream all over your hands. Okay, numbered. Number 1, largest cup. 2 lines I mentioned. We aim for the bottom line. Occasionally we'll come up and over that, but that's generally what we're after. When we do fascial stretch technique, dry, we have to use cups that are really dry, so no product on them. So as we do fascial stretch further on down the workshop, just remember you probably need to leave a couple of cups untouched, because you don't want to be slipping. All right. Okay, cup, accessory, trigger point accessory, acupressure accessory, tube. Fairly useless the way it is, but we can adapt it. So these guys here have got a little slit in them, and the object of that slit is to help you get the damn thing out of the cups, particularly if you've got slippery fingers and you've got a small cup. Smaller. That just literally pops in there. Inside there's a spot for it to jam into. You might need to push it a little bit. The other thing you need to do is make sure it's centered. So that's centered, that's in but not centered. So you want it centered and pushed in. Okay? I'm going to jump ahead and just show you what happens. Get there on the table. That's what we're aiming for with those guys. So that's a trigger point accessory directly on the trigger point. All right? Now to take the cup off, there are 2 ways. You can lift the valve up and it just releases. Or the other way is to break the seal down the bottom like that. With a trigger point accessory in, we do not move the cup. So we don't glide the cup unless you don't like the person. And I'm kind of liking you, so we're going to stick with that. All right, so to get that little trigger point out when we've got greasy fingers, we don't do that, try and pull it out like that. We just tap it and it pops out. And that's because of that little slip that you've got. So in and out, in, make sure it's straight, use it, and then to pull it out, tap it, and it should just pop out, okay? So that's accessory. Now this little tube guy is awesome if you're in an area that you're going to lose suction frequently. So instead of having to reach for the pump again, you just pump again to keep your seal going. The problem is with these guys is that and that do not stick together very well. And you don't want to jam it in because you'll break the L joint. It's called an L joint. We sell more of these and they're $300 each. Okay. Don't break the L joint. So if they're not sticking in, then you can get some plumber's tape, nominate a cup, and in your trolley, remember you're going to have a trolley, that is literally sitting in your trolley, and that tape will help jam that into place nicely without breaking the L joint. And that's literally just sitting in your trolley. So when you're ready to go, you can just pull it out and then go for it, right? So here you need that tape. Masking tape even works if you haven't got plumber's tape. That tape, plumber's tape, is the one you put around the, you know?
Yeah,
water, yeah. So that goes on there. So you could have a couple of different cups. You could have that one, you could have a 3. sitting there with some masking tape or plumber's tape, just connect and go. So, what's that?
Sorry, what is the thing for? What are you using?
Why?
Yeah.
So it means that you can literally just glide along. So you've got a cup on. You've got a cup on and you can just glide along, lose suction, pump. So instead of having then to reach for the pump again and pop it on and all that, then that's a really nice way to go. The other way that you can do it is just leave the pump directly on the cup, which you'll see a bit of with me as well. Okay, let's go back to basics again. Cup goes on, don't jam it on hard because